5, 4, 3.
What's up, Twitch? Welcome back to Sit Down and Pile Drive. We got a pretty chocked episode for you. At some point, my laptop's going to cooperate so I can pull up all of the things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Money in the Bank predictions. We've got 2 hours before they're going to matter.
Well, are they starting early now? Because I know they were getting extended now to like 4-hour shows instead of 3.
Maybe an hour.
So it might have started at 5 now.
I got the kickoff show thing posting up. So real quick, Bludgeon Brothers of the club.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah,
I think so. I think they're saving Bludgeon Brothers to lose sanity when they debut.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, because they're literally the same thing, so it makes sense for them to feud.
We'll be talking about that because I don't know. I don't really know what WWE wants to do with their tag division. I talked about it kind of last week.
Yeah.
Where just not feeling very well, but I kind of ranted about.
Yeah, well, it sucks because tag team wrestling is like my favorite thing on the planet, and when it's done right, it's like the best.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. We'll be talking about Dave Meltzer. He's in some hot water with wrestling fans because he likes wrestling. Because he likes really good wrestling.
God damn it, this guy likes wrestling.
I just noticed that, New Japan, internet fans are like, New Japan Pro Wrestling's the best wrestling. And then he goes, man, it's the best wrestling. And they go, you just suck the dick of New Japan.
Boo.
You've watched 2 guys wrestle nonstop for over an hour, and somehow that's not a 7-star match?
Yeah, I know.
Shut up.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But
We'll also be talking about I'll get Griff's opinion on Dominion and some of that stuff. We'll be talking about NXT TakeOver that happened yesterday.
Oh, yeah, dude.
First things first.
Let's
get this out of the way, guys. So I reported last week that the main event plans for SummerSlam was shockingly Brock Lesnar taking on Roman Reigns. And it's now being reported that Brock Lesnar is not even confirmed for SummerSlam.
Well, that's not entirely true. So it was confirmed that they haven't. Somebody leaked that it hasn't been confirmed that he will be there.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
That's like saying like you can't have SummerSlam without the big title, quote unquote, the big title.
I have a theory.
Oh, a theory?
I don't think he's gonna go do SummerSlam.
Why?
Because now, with Brock Lesnar holding that Universal title, and them obviously not caring that their Universal title is not going to be being showcased every pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all these other titles, and Seth Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion, and he's doing wonders with that, and people care about the Intercontinental Championship. They have the World Heavyweight Championship. They got to do something with the United States Championship. They want to do stuff with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte and making women the main eventers. Hear me out. They're gonna let Brock Lesnar hold that title for as long as he wants, or at the very least until it takes for Roman Reigns to actually get over with the fans.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
I think you're onto something with saying there's too many titles and not enough room on the card. But I think it has more to do with his contract, and they're trying to get this like mainstream appeal. If he's never there, then why would like Fox pay $1 billion for,
Well, he's got the belt.
Yeah, I understand that idea. I understand what you're saying, and I just don't think that's the way it's going to be because I feel they're going to get it off him as soon as he's ready to lose it. And I think that's going to be SummerSlam. Yeah. I think right now it's about convincing him that he should lose to a certain person. And I bet you Brock isn't super keen on losing to Roman.
And, to be honest, I don't even think if they're trying to convince Brock to lose to Roman Reigns, there's an entire audience they need to convince for Brock to lose.
I think Brock doesn't want to lose to someone who doesn't deserve it. And I think the reason... So that's why...
Because I don't think it's fair to call Brock Lesnar lazy. Because we've seen Brock Lesnar give a shit.
Yeah.
We've seen it recently. We saw it with AJ Styles. We saw it with Samoa Joe.
He doesn't give a shit. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
So because he's a dick, he just kind of like
if John Cena was evil.
He has a very archaic sense of wrestling where it's like I'm the shit. The only person who could beat me is someone who's better.
Mm-hmm.
Like on paper.
Right.
Not like someone who's like we want to book him better than you. Like more like that guy could kick my ass. Like
Right.
a Braun Strowman, he would probably be okay with losing to.
But not Braun Strowman. I think that's the
No,
problem.
no, I'm saying like someone like with a build and like
Hmm.
someone who looks like they could beat Brock, or he I don't know Brock Lesnar. Hi Brock, but I think he could
He's our
also be
number one
down.
fan.
Yeah, I know he's like one of the like 4 people watching. He's just like Brock Lesnar, ha 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 ha. You know, he's like that.
You guys
But-
have some good wrestling opinions.
But I could see him getting behind like maybe an underdog story of him losing. But like I just don't see him being into losing to like a Seth Rollins or a Finn Balor or something like that. Someone who's great, but doesn't look like they can beat Brock Lesnar.
I just
in real
think,
life.
and I think he wants to wrestle somebody who's going to make him look good. I think that's why I liked AJ Styles so much. Like Samoa Joe, I think his thing with Samoa Joe is I can punch him in the face,
Yeah.
and he'll punch me back just as hard. So that's fun.
exactly. That's my point exactly with Joe. Joe looks like he in real life. If these two guys fought each other, Joe looks like someone who could actually stand a chance.
I know,
And I think Brock
yeah.
has that same sense idea because that's how it was in like the early 2000s, and that's why there was a lot of muscle men on WWE's
Yeah.
because the idea was believability in their characters of looks. And I feel like in modern day time, they don't really care about that much about believability with their looks. Like Daniel Bryan was world champion. Like Daniel Bryan could probably whoop someone who's his own size in real life, but if you put him against Brock Lesnar, like IRL, he'd probably get murdered.
Well, I think Brock Lesnar would probably put forth the effort necessary. for
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
But I'm saying like, I'm not saying Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying
I get what you're saying.
with the
though.
title picture on the line, he's very old school mentality that the person who's going to beat him is someone who looks like he could actually beat Brock.
like a kind of. I mean,
Like a Bobby Lashley or like a not Bobby Lashley, but someone like with the build of like a Bobby Lashley with
Right.
with a little bit of believability that he could be Brock on any given Sunday.
other than Strowman and Joe, though, the only other person would be Roman Reigns.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke has believability because he did MMA and won. You know, like
I'd
he
see
has.
that.
That's what I've been wanting that match since the day he stepped foot in WWE.
Yeah, we're not
But-
gonna get it.
No, not anytime
No.
soon.
I don't know. I'm at this point because Roman Reigns is clearly not going to be over by the time SummerSlam
No.
rolls around. So it's just going to be another main event that's just trashed by the. Honestly, here's my prediction: they're going to leave before the match even starts. Like the
Like
like
audience?
people will just walk out.
I don't think Roman's going to fight Brock at SummerSlam.
I hope not.
I really don't believe it. I believe Brock will wrestle at SummerSlam for the Universal title against someone who he's going to beat. I
Like-
think he's going to win.
Unless you're trying to tell me that 70,000 something people went to WrestleMania for the sole purpose of crapping over your main event.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with fans not wanting to cheer Roman. It has everything to do with the fact that Roman's not the guy.
No, yeah.
He's a capable wrestler.
He's a fine. If he was in the mid card, I'd be all about Roman.
He should have. He should
Like
have been.
honestly, and that's not me digging him being in the main event. It's just like he doesn't have the charisma of a star.
No, he doesn't.
And I've always said like he is a charisma vacuum. Anytime he's in a segment, it always feels slower.
I don't want to root for.
Yo,
I don't want to root for
big
Jinder
dog in the
Mahal.
house, you little bitch,
You bitch.
you punk ass bitch.
This is his go-to thing. Anytime
yeah.
someone's out,
Everybody's talking their crap. You know,
anytime
like it's-
someone out talks him on the mic, he's like,
I'm not into it as like a building to like a main event, as opposed to like someone like Samoa Joe where he comes out and talks, you listen.
Oh,
like
God, yeah.
he's very Jake the Snake, in the sense that like he'll start off quiet, so you have to like kind of hear.
he's doing
what he's
Bible
saying.
verses, and
He's
then he
doing
goes,
Bible verses.
until a bad man named Samoa Joe came along.
He's literally like someone from
Ooh,
like a
chills.
He's like from Quentin Tarantino. Movie.
Oh, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like the way he talks is very like Tarantino-esque in his scripts.
He's eloquent.
Yeah, he's eloquent. He has a good vernacular.
And even if like Roman Reigns doesn't necessarily have to be the best talker, but he's so we'll talk about this now because I went off on wrestling forums about how asinine. So the go-to thing anytime someone talks to Roman Reigns about how he gets booed and how, you know, have you put any thought into turning heel, they always go, "Well, aren't I already a heel? They boo me." No.
That's not how
That's
wrestling
not
works.
how it works.
No.
You can have a character that does morally gray things, But you don't do morally gray things.
Yeah, he is a baby face who people don't like.
John Cena is a baby face.
Yeah.
He will get booed, but then John Cena has the talent to turn that boo around.
Right. And John Cena is one of those people that, like, he was in a time that wrestling was bad. Like,
Yeah.
in 2008, 2009 wrestling, we did a whole podcast. Our
That was
first podcast
the
was
pilot
about
episode.
was about how bad wrestling was at that time. And he was like the face, so people associated with him. But over time, now that WWE has gotten better in ring, people now forgive him for that.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's not about him being a bad wrestler, because he was never a bad wrestler. He was the face of a time that was bad.
And they didn't the people they were pushing against John Cena, no offense to The Miz, but during that time period, The Miz was not ready. We had seen Randy Orton versus John Cena 100 times at that point.
Yeah.
R-Truth is your main bad guy at one point. Yikes.
Well, like, then people started getting a little bit buzzed with Nexus, and
And then,
killed that.
well, that was John Cena's fault.
That's just because John Cena made a bad call.
He did, and he opened.
I don't think that was like him trying to bury. I think he thought it made sense, and then it was like a hindsight. Oh shit, that was probably not the best idea.
So the thing about Roman Reigns, and the thing about him declaring his character is kind of in a gray area. No. Kevin Owens is a heel, and he gets booed. He gets cheered,
Yeah.
but he turns it into booing.
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss is a heel and gets booed.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is a face and gets cheered, and he might do something that might be a little heely, like when he smashed Elias's
Yeah.
guitar, but he gets cheered. Braun
Right.
Strowman is a face who he will destroy Finn Balor, who's also a face, but he gets cheered.
Right.
So this whole thing about how Roman Reigns is a heel to some people and a face to other people, I'm sorry, I hear significantly more boos
Yeah.
than cheers. I don't hear any cheers from Roman Reigns.
It's about playing to the audience, and like that's what wrestling is. Literally, if you took the atom of what wrestling is, it's about playing to the audience. And when the audience is telling you, boo, I don't like this guy, and then you're saying, well, this is a good guy, people were like, well, no, that's not what I want. The reason why people want Roman to turn heel is not because they want a bad Roman. They just want him to play into the boos.
or compelling at the very least.
Yes, that's true.
Like, give us a reason to find an interest in Roman Reigns.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you think about it, like Miz, he played into the fact that he was getting booed, and now he's getting cheered. And now, what is he doing now? He's kind of playing into the fact that he gets cheered,
and he can turn it into boos at the same
yeah,
time.
exactly. It's like you have to go with the momentum of wrestling. Like, you can't just write something down on paper and that's what it is. You have to listen to the audience. Don't give the audience what they want every single time, but play off of what they're
Yeah.
doing. You can't, like, if someone's if someone's getting cheered and then they turned heel and everybody's still cheering them, probably wasn't the best idea to turn him heel, because if people don't want to boo him,
Like Stone Cold.
yeah, like Stone Cold, like if you don't want to boo him, they're not going to boo him. So if you're gonna write stuff that, if you're gonna
like,
write stuff that is like
a better
and
example,
then he'll get booed by the audience.
A better example would be when they turned CM Punk heel on The Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
And it did not work.
Didn't work, but that was just for like theming for the story. It didn't need that.
It really did.
And it would have been way better if he was still doing his anti-establishment punk,
Like, you
for
could've
lack of
still-
a better word, punk idea.
Well, like CM Punk said basically on Colt Cabana's podcast, Rock wanted to work with a heel.
Right.
So they basically like they used a potential WrestleMania main event spot to get CM Punk to do it. And we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, what I think, something over the last 10, 15 years that's changed with the increase of independent wrestling is the idea of a heel and a face.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Ring of Honor back in like 2006 kind of redefined what you have to be a heel and a face. It's less about, you don't need a heel versus a face every match, but you do need a heel versus a face dynamic.
Yeah.
You need someone to play up the darker side.
I mean, the Young Bucks in an interview, and the Young Bucks are one of the most over acts in professional wrestling.
Can you tell me if the Young Bucks are a face or heel right now?
They've said on podcast, I guess we're heels.
Exactly. That was the exact point I'm trying to get to, is that I think what WWE's trying to tell Roman is that it's about getting a reaction and people are going to cheer who they
And it's
like and
such
boo
a-
who they
it's
like.
such bunk.
That's not true. The truth is that you play a character that feeds off the crowd, and then when you put into a match, you have to use a dynamic.
Every
Kenny
match-
versus Okada, both men were faces. This last Dominion, they were
Yeah.
both faces, but the match was fantastic, and it definitely had a heel face dynamic. Okada was playing the heel dynamic.
To a lesser degree, AJ Styles, Finn Balor at
Exactly.
TLC, maybe while it's not exactly on par with
Yeah.
with Okada Omega.
Right.
At the same time, though, it's still a good match, a match that had zero build,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's face versus face. To do this whole bullshit defense of Roman Reigns' character, where I'm sorry, at the end of the day, every match tells a single story. Your story has always been the same story.
Yeah. I don't like you. I don't like you.
You're a bitch.
You're a bitch.
Big
Punk
dog.
ass bitch.
This is my yard, big dog.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like wrestling has. This is going to sound super like elitist or whatever, but I feel like wrestling's moved past WWE.
Yeah, WWE is now. I mean,
Like wrestling is so good outside of WWE. I kind of get bummed when people are brought up to the main roster.
yeah, I don't want to see. I definitely get bummed when people go to the main roster.
I love seeing the debuts. Debuts are like my favorite thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Revival comes out and kicks over an ice cream truck. It's great. You know?
Yeah, Shinsuke's
Exactly.
although him as a
But
heel
I
is amazing.
But I hate it when they're actually finally on the main roster, established on the main
Unless
roster.
they're used right.
Even when they're used right, it just feels wrong.
Yeah.
Seeing Samoa Joe just go out there and lose to Roman Reigns clean just feels wrong.
I agree. I agree.
Joe is a killer. He was undefeated in Ring of Honor for 600 days. 600 days. That's almost 2 years. And he lost to Roman Reigns. It just doesn't feel right. He should be booked as a monster. You know, that's what his dynamic is.
I'm not necessarily of the. Well, I think, at least in Samoa Joe's case, to immediately feed him to like the Roman Reigns's was a bad decision.
He should have come out of the gate swinging and kind of done like what Braun did when he debuted, where he just kills through people for years. Don't have him be in the main title picture, but have him there as like he's a scary fucking dude.
Yeah.
You know? And then when he finally gets put in that
Well,
thing, he is established as a scary fucking dude that he could take on someone like a Brock Lesnar, and it's believable.
I think Samoa Joe was put in a bad position because they brought him in and they were very obviously trying to do that whole new evolution thing.
Yeah. I think honestly he was supposed to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania
Yeah.
instead of Triple H.
Although that was a good match. That was a real good match. I
He
don't
got
know.
injured, so Triple H stepped up.
Yeah. The thing with Roman Reigns and the thing that's going to bleed into this Brock Lesnar match is it's just going to be the same thing, except this time Roman Reigns will finally hit that spear that keeps Brock Lesnar down. Maybe. Even when that SummerSlam rolls around, they could be like, this is the last match Brock Lesnar will ever fight. I'm like, no, he's keeping that title.
I think you're right, but I think that's why my prediction is going to be a Raw cash-in.
Yeah, I think that's the only way, and then we'll get into that in a minute. So real quick, you were not here to talk about Dominion.
Yeah, well,
Just kind of and I know you didn't watch a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the show as a whole, and of course that match.
oh, okay. So I'll start off. I was at work when Dominion was happening. I work night shifts, of course, as I've said many times. Hopefully soon it'll be done, so I'll be back to working days and I won't be so tired.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a chance to watch the entire show yet because it is 5 hours long. And I'm like,
New Japan
I'm
is a-
like, man, I don't know if I want to.
Fan.
I'm like, I could watch 5 hours of Dominion, or I could watch 615-minute YouTube videos. I don't know, but I did watch the main event because I didn't want it spoiled. I didn't want anything spoiled, and I knew this match was going to be fantastic. So I'll talk about this. I said this is the first time since WrestleMania 30 that I yelled at the end of a match, like straight up. For one, like there's two reasons. One, because I made infamously on this podcast, I gave my prediction of what's going to happen with New Japan, and so far they're following my ideas. So I kind of screamed at that. I was like, "Hey, I was right." But also the dynamic of the match, I literally said 15 minutes, like after the second fall, I literally said, "Come on, Kenny." I don't do that.
right?
I don't do that because
It's not real.
It's not real. But it's also because I'm so ingrained in WWE or in wrestling that I see through what it is, and that's kind of fun for me. I like being analytical, so that's why I like wrestling so much. But this match, I can honestly say, is probably my favorite match.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best stories to happen inside of a wrestling ring.
What's great about it is that it rewards people for following all the other matches, following the story, following everything.
Mm-hmm.
It rewards those people. It doesn't take away from people who haven't done that, but if like me, I've been watching New Japan since Wrestle Kingdom 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So I've been watching for a few years now. So I'm ingrained in this story. Okada Omega, I've been watching from start to now.
Mm-hmm.
So now knowing everything I know, that made that match even better. And I feel like that's where people don't understand with Meltzer's 7-star rating.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah, I just bringing it up just for the context. He said in the interview, he said like, this match is great because it had so many callbacks, had so many subtle things.
Well, it's a
that-
perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm, and it rewards people for following him. Dave Meltzer follows, so therefore he was rewarded, and he felt better. People who don't think it was the best probably don't watch New Japan as often as he does.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So Dave Meltzer, obviously, who he's been
He's the man.
he's been reviewing wrestling since the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
He's been around. He knows professional wrestling. He's watched a lot. I'm sorry if you're gonna trust one person's opinion on wrestling, it should be Dave Meltzer. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's era after era after era.
He
been
has
around.
what's the term? Pedigree. He has
Yes.
pedigree.
And a refined palate.
Yeah.
He knows what good wrestling is versus bad wrestling because he's seen a lot of it.
He is like, okay, so like, you know how we always said like Jim Cornette has my exact opposite opinions of wrestling? Dave Meltzer's pretty close to my opinions on wrestling.
and-
he does not perfect. I don't believe everything he says, but he is pretty close to how I feel about wrestling. So when he says a match is great, I know it's going to be at least good.
And I'd say Dave Meltzer's probably the most neutral.
Yeah, he tries to be at least.
Yeah, as far as
He really, really does.
because like Jim Cornette, I don't think Jim Cornette's going to give. Even if Combat Zone Wrestling had an amazing, incredible match, Jim Cornette's not going to give it the time of day.
Yeah, and well, Dave Meltzer also has he has a couple opinions that I don't agree on. Like I said, he's closest. He doesn't like weapons matches very much. He doesn't like things like hardcore or anything like that. He's just not a fan of it.
Well, I mean, he was pretty critical of the Dragon Suplex spot in the first Kenny Omega Okada match.
Yeah.
So that's a taste thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
But you're not going to see Dave Meltzer give out a 5-star match to a CZW death match.
yeah,
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's just not his taste.
So anyway, the first Omega Okada match got like a 5-star.
It got 6 stars. The first Kenny Okada.
The next one got a 6.5 star.
6.5 stars.
This match, which by the way went over an hour.
Yeah, their third match got 5.5, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Third match got 5.5 at G1.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Yeah.
about
5.5, and then this
that. Well,
one
it was
got...
like a 30-minute match.
It was a 30-minute match, and it was fast-paced, and the entire match was built around beating the shit out of each other's necks to make each other done. Which is a fantastic way, but that's the reason why it's not as highly ranked is because it was basically their first match on Fast Forward.
Yeah, and Dave Meltzer probably doesn't like neck spots.
I don't think that's true. I think he is right. Their third match was not their best one.
Yeah. But I don't think it needed to be.
No.
Because, so he gave their fourth match, this hour and 5 minute, 2 out of 3 falls match. He gave it 7 stars. He broke his own scale, a scale that I don't think exists.
I think it's both his actual opinion and also he's kind of fucking with people.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's like full on trying to get people to stop giving a shit about him. Because if you notice, like, most critics of him are just like, oh, Dave Meltzer, his opinion is a blah, 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 5 stars, And he's probably sick of that because that's not what he wanted to be. He just reviews matches to let people know if they're good or not.
Yeah.
Because that's how I always took
And
it.
somehow, Dave Meltzer highly praising a wrestling match that's already been highly praised by everybody.
Yeah.
People were expecting it to be amazing before it even happened. For him to confirm that it is in fact amazing, people flipped out. People are so mad that Dave Meltzer really liked this match.
Yeah. Oh my God, Dave Meltzer likes wrestling.
And the way he explained it, and they kind of gave a lot of the backstory to why this match was so good. They surrounded it around Okada's reign in general.
Yes.
They talked about how, and I agree, because after discovering Okada, I dived deep into the Okada hole where I was just like, I need to know everything about him because I love him. And it's weird him not having that title. And I'm getting used to it. I don't like it right now.
Yeah.
But I'll be fine. So they talked about how it's been it's 4 years. 4 years he's held on to that title, right?
No, it's been like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
He's been in and out of the title scene for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Like a cumulative, he's been,
Cumulative, it's been a lot more than 2 years.
Yeah.
But this particular reign was about 600 something days.
Every match, for the most part, has been incredibly good.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where, Okada probably wasn't going to get beat.
Yeah.
Then you have Kenny Omega, who's on this super, super fast rise to the point where Kenny Omega is arguably the best performer in professional wrestling.
I told you I was like, I had to see him live once because I feel like he is this generation's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Guy we're going to talk about in 50 years as one of the best of all time.
Absolutely.
But because we're in the thick of it right now, we can't really make those claims.
And you have the storyline where Okada is just crushing all of his competition, putting on at the very least 4-star matches with anybody you throw his way.
Right.
So he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
And on this other end, you have Kenny Omega, who's on this emotional journey with the Bullet Club and Kota Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. They've crossed, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
And then they go and they do their own thing again. And now they come back together. Kenny Omega is not the man he was.
Exactly.
When they had their first match at Wrestle Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Okada is not the same man he was. Mm-hmm. He's now Okada Reborn, which I love.
Yeah, it's fun. But this is where I'll talk about it a little bit. This is my opinion on this. The reason why I was able to call Kenny winning is because I saw the trajectory of the story. And with Okada, his story has been what means being the best.
Yeah.
So, being the best, is it having all the records? Well, he did that. Is it about having the longest reign? Well, he did that. Is it about beating the best? He did that, including Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's story is literally watching a shonen anime. And I mean that in the most positive way possible. Because if you watch a shonen anime, they're very formulaic in the sense that you go, here's a guy who's been tortured, basically a tortured soul, and he has a best friend who they're opposites, but because they're best friends, they get over it. They split up. They go do their thing. One becomes evil, one becomes good. They fight each other, and then they finally recognize that they are just two different people. Go their own way. Till eventually, they have to come together to fight a common foe, and they have to team back up. But then there's still that little bit of hatred until they finally accept that they're friends. Yeah. That's basic shonen. Naruto, fucking Yu Yu Hakusho, whatever. It's all essentially that story. Vegeta and Goku from Dragon Ball Z is that story. So I think that's the basis of the Golden Lovers. If you watch the first Okada Omega match, it makes sense for Kenny to lose because he's never been in a world title match.
And
it's the first time hitting the main stage.
And he's the cleaner still.
He's still the cleaner, and he hasn't fully come to grips what it means to be good. Mm-hmm. He is good. He has the natural talent, but he's a bad person. And he needs help from his friend.
And that's the match that proves he belongs.
Yes.
So the second match
it's basically the first match is about Kenny not being ready for
proving
Okada.
to himself.
Yeah. As I was saying, it's not him being ready for Okada because Okada's basically let's just say he's the best ever.
He's the man.
Frieza.
He's the man.
Essentially like a Frieza.
He's a good guy. Goku.
Yeah.
He's Goku.
I understand. I'm saying in Kenny's eyes. In Kenny's eyes.
Yeah.
He's basically this is where the best is. He is the best. I want to be the best. He's the best. He loses, but he puts on. He's this close. This close. Which shows that he has potential. Mm-hmm. Their next match shows that Kenny has improved, but Okada really hasn't. He's only fought 2 more people since their first match, so it makes sense that he hasn't gotten that much better, but he's still fucking good.
Yeah.
They go to a draw. That means they literally are even because Kenny has trained so much to get that little bit because he was this close the first time.
Yeah.
Makes sense for him to be on level.
First match is about proving it to himself. Second match is about proving it to Okada.
Yeah.
Third match
is proven that he can beat Okada, just doesn't have anything on the line.
right.
So it shows that in any day of the week, Kenny could beat Okada and Okada could beat Kenny. It's very similar. Then Okada went on his journey to become better than the best, if that makes sense. And he becomes God tier, and Kenny also is trying to establish himself. And it's the very idea of like in anime where you're like, it's I'm trying to say like the grounded, like someone who's built up by friendship and love and
Yeah.
stuff like that, versus someone who's built up by training and beating the hell out of each other and having the system behind them try to make them better. And that's what the story is.
It's two of the most... Because one of my favorite WWE DVDs is Top 25 Rivalries of All Time.
Okay, yeah.
And
I
they
see
talk
that.
about, I forgot who it was. I think it was Stone Cold. It's the match. So it's WrestleMania 19. Stone Cold Steve Austin walking down the ramp, The Rock walking down the ramp, and Jim Ross says these are two different people, two different ways of two different lives, two different ways of looking at life, and that's what Okada and Omega is.
Yeah. They're rivals. They're the perfect rivals for each
This
other.
is the rivalry. Yeah, this is the rivalry we'll be talking about 20 years from
Yeah.
now as the best rivalry of all time.
Exactly. Because we're in the thick of it, it's hard for us to say that.
I mean, I think
Well, because I remember saying like a few years ago, I said CM Punk and John Cena is probably the best rivalry. Now looking back, you're like, well, I think maybe Flair and Dusty probably had a better rivalry. Or,
I would
you know,
argue,
but in that moment, I'm like, this is the best because it's
during
what
that
you're
time,
doing.
I don't know, like that one I kind of always felt was good, but like it didn't belong in top 25 rivalries of all time. That was
Right.
just get CM Punk on the DVD.
Yeah, exactly. No, and I'm just saying like it's hard for you to claim something when you're in it. You have to have context outside.
I feel pretty confident about
All right.
this one.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm saying we need time.
Yeah.
But my point being is that Kenny winning is finally him coming to grips with both his dark side and his light side. Joining the Bullet Club side of him and the Golden Lover side of him coming together. And that's what the whole Golden Elite is essentially.
I love it. I love it.
And him winning is vindication for his sacrifice. Proving that he can beat Okada is enough that he can win this big
And
match
doing
finally.
it his way.
Doing it his way. Exactly. And that's why I was like, the story of the match, like, if you like, sorry if this is going to go off on a little end, but like, I just got to talk about, like, the first fall was about Kenny tried to use the tactics of the match that he won. Because in their match that he won, he came out of the gates blazing. There was only a 30-minute time limit, so he had to be fast.
Yeah.
And if you keep Okada off his game, he could do that. But Okada is better since the last time he did because he faced Will Ospreay, a fast wrestler. So now he can keep up with Kenny. That's where it's like supposed to be. Like every one of his opponents led to this match on both sides. So now he can keep up with Kenny's speed, and that's why he was able to get that first fall.
God, New Japan is so fucking
That's
good.
where I'm saying.
God
That's what
damn
I'm
it.
telling you. This is why I'm saying New Japan is way fucking better than WWE.
It's so much
And I'm
better.
not trying to be elitist. It just is. And that's not what I'm saying. Like, they tell stories
Because
within
WWE
stories.
could be on this fucking point. They used to be on that fucking point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what the first fall is. Every fall represented a different match in their career. And the second fall was very similar to Jericho versus Omega.
Yeah.
It's very weapon stuff. Like you see the table being brought out, you see them going on the outside more, and then Kenny winning. Didn't he do I could be mistaken, but didn't he do a one wing on a weapon in the second fall? Or did he just do it?
I think he just did it.
Okay, he just did it, but he was so close to the ropes and he grabbed the ropes, and that was from the Jericho match and things like that, you know? So it makes sense that like now Kenny can win that fall because he fought someone like Jericho. He can keep up with someone who's more aggressive, which Okada was being. Third fall was very similar to their second match, and people were like, it went to a draw. And basically this answered the question of what happened if they never had a time limit.
Right.
Kenny would have won because Kenny was better at Coda at that moment, and that's what the final story was trying to be. So like it's all this is just so deep, and that's why Dave Meltzer gave it 7 stars. It's not because of the match being 7 stars. It's because there was so much to grab from that match that if you watch it 10 times, every time will be different.
I think one of the great things about Kenny Omega is he understands that wrestling is at its best when it's compelling.
Also, don't insult the intelligence of the person watching.
Yeah. But a wrestling match, like a match in itself, because Kenny Omega doesn't have a problem doing the funny stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And he does a great job at it.
Yeah.
But he understands that when it comes down to it, the best matches are the emotionally charged matches.
Yeah, and something like, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But like something that people don't understand that I'm starting to notice more with like guys who are influenced by Kenny Omega now is that being an emotional match doesn't mean pretending to be tired.
Right.
Because like if you notice like more people in the independent wrestling, I don't know if you know, are being like the tired fighting and they're doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's barely trying to be Okada.
The
Omega.
2006 ROH stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what was compelling about the match is the fact they were tired. The fact was it was believable in the moment. When you throw a strike, you react to that
Yeah.
strike.
Like I can't think of many wrestlers who Mick Foley would be that type of wrestler
Yes.
that Kenny Omega the matches like his Hell in a Cell with Triple H.
Yeah.
That match is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because deep down you know he's probably not going to win. But he's doing everything he can to make it happen, and then when he gets pulled through, when he falls through the top of the cell and he breaks through the mat, it breaks your heart to see. Macho Man got that.
Yeah.
Macho Man Randy Savage knew that the best matches
Yeah.
were matches that made the audience react emotionally.
Yeah,
Not
and
just go, wow, that was great. But I mean, the only good Ultimate Warrior match is Macho Man Randy Savage's retirement match.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just because Macho Man reunited with Elizabeth.
And although at the same time, like when Ultimate Warrior so he hits the 4 shoulder blocks and then he pins him with
Warrior.
he pins him with his foot 1, 2, 3 and then just walks off. Even who this match happened long before I was around, but long before I was watching wrestling, even I was like, wow.
Yeah.
A good match is a good match. It doesn't matter if you were there.
Yeah, exactly. A good match can be seen as a good match by people who don't know wrestling.
Exactly.
And that's like the 100% truth. If the story being told is so universal that you don't need to explain it, that's a good match.
I agree.
And that's what's something that people don't understand, especially people who are trying to be like Omega. Like they think that selling is just pretending to be hurt.
I think that's kind
No,
of
there's more to it than that.
and I think that's kind of the problem with Will Ospreay.
That's my exact opinion of Will Ospreay is he understands that you have to go, ow, but he doesn't understand that it has to be a believable because you're a fighter.
Yeah.
In this world, you're someone who can take a punch. Realistically, you can take a punch. So if someone like bends your wrist a little bit, you're not going to cry out. You're going to go,
Well,
ow,
I also
ow,
don't
ow,
think-
ow. Like you're not going to be like, ah.
And maybe it's the backyard wrestling background. Not to bash on backyard wrestling.
No.
But I just feel like Will Ospreay doesn't give a shit about telling a story.
Okay, so we haven't talked in a bit, but Will Ospreay has been changing my opinion recently because have you seen that Will Ospreay Marty Scurll match?
Yeah, but some of that's Marty Scurll.
Yeah, but it's also Will Ospreay in that match because that match he actually decided to sell really well, and that's because him and Scurll have insane chemistry.
Yeah.
because their progress stuff. They
mean,
wrestled at the WrestleCon show I went to in Dallas.
I'm going to give more of the storytelling to Marty than Will, but I get what you're saying.
No, my thing was trying to say is that I think he knows everything I've been saying that I don't like about Will Ospreay. I think he knows. He's just trying to get better because he is still pretty new to wrestling. He's only 4 or 5 years in wrestling.
He's got to stop that fucking shit he's doing though.
Yeah, I think he's moving to heavyweight. I think he's going to be a secret entrant in G1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why he lost the title. Because
he lost that title. That was
well,
surprising.
he was supposed to be like, I'm going to be the greatest junior, and then he loses. And he's injured now. It would make sense and he was talking about wanting to be a heavyweight one day.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense for him to be a secret. Because G1 always does one or two, like, you know, like they always like to do that. Like, I forgot who it was last year, but like the year before it was Kota Ibushi coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's who it was last year. Kota Ibushi, because he was gone. He was Tiger Mask W
Yeah.
for a while. So him coming back, everybody's like, oh, he's back. I think Will Ospreay is going to be announced as a heavyweight. And I think he's going to start slowing down a bit. Because he has the build to be a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah, and
He's only a junior because he can fly. And Young Bucks are kind of bringing back the idea that heavyweights can fly.
I'm glad that the Young Bucks, I think they're faces now.
I think they're faces, yeah, because of necessity. But, especially with the Golden Elite, they're faces.
Oh yeah. What do you think? Do you think this is the last hurrah of the Omegas and the Young Buck of Omega and Young Bucks before they go to WWE?
I don't know. I don't know if Omega will ever go to WWE.
I feel like he's going to.
I feel like he might go. He might be like a Sting, in the sense that like when he's near retirement and ready to like go out in pasture, go to WWE. But he does want that match with AJ.
And he has said that, you know, he's telling a story, and this Golden Elite seems like it's kind of reaching the end of the story.
No, I know. Do you want me to tell you
the
what?
Coda? He's gonna.
Coda's gonna go evil.
Mhm.
And he's gonna join. I have a feeling Suzuki Goon,
Ooh.
or maybe start his own one. But I think he's gonna go heel.
Or Bullet Club leader.
Nah,
No.
Bullet Club's still like it's still the foreign heel group. Even though they have a couple Japanese guys, they're still.
I think they just have one.
They have two.
Two?
They have
Tokyo
Pimp, and they got Taiji Ishimori, Boat Soldier.
Ah, right. Oh.
Yeah.
Soldier.
Boat Soldier. But yeah, my point being is like Kenny loves Japan so much, and he wants to build something as opposed to be a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see him. I could see it either way. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I could see him maybe going to WWE for like a year.
Yeah,
I could see that. I think Young Bucks are definitely going to go to WWE.
I mean,
I think once their contract's done in, is it like 2020?
I would say they're more likely to do just a year than Kenny Omega
No.
because Young Bucks,
Young
they
Bucks,
don't care.
yeah, but Young Bucks also are literally changing their style right now to be more WWE friendly.
Yeah,
Like the heavyweight, they call it being heavyweight and being jacked, but it's very much a WWE style.
And they're not doing-
psychology. They still do the crazy flips, but their crazy flips are calculated.
but they're
now.
doing less smarky moves. Like they're
Yeah,
not doing
exactly.
the Meltzer driver.
Yeah, and I think yeah,
that move.
No, they still do it. They just didn't do it that one match because they were doing the back and arm.
Yeah.
So
They're,
But
they're working on their
I see
storytelling.
Kenny staying, Young Bucks going. I think Kenny might show up, do a year, and then go back to New Japan. He might even try to, because he's such a big deal, he might try to do a thing where he like gets in both companies.
Well, we can. That's good. So we can talk about this.
Okay.
Triple H. So if you don't know this, E3 just happened, and WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling had a crossover match, even though it wasn't really a crossover match. No, the New Day, the most overact in WWE, took on Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks,
The Golden Elite.
the Golden Elite, the most overacted New Japan Pro Wrestling, in a Street Fighter tournament.
Yeah. It's not really wrestling, but it's freaking so cool.
And it was a ton of fun. And
Yeah.
WWE promoted it on their website.
I know. And
They
now
called him an international star.
and they added Kenny Omega's like OVW or Deep South stuff to the hidden gems.
That's what makes me feel like they're gonna.
I think they're enticing.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I think Kenny will go there for a year just to do it. Have his couple of dream matches that he wants, and then he'll go back.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, so Triple H, he's a smart guy.
He is, like, I don't know if he's really smart or if he just knows what everybody wants to hear. Like,
funny.
I just feel like Triple H is like, hey, yeah, New Japan's cool, I guess. Maybe we'll do something with it, I don't know.
So Triple H was asked in an interview if he would be interested in joining forces with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he talked a little bit. He said, "We have an alliance with Progress in the UK, a situation with ICW in Scotland, two very well-run and respected promotions that do good business. Is there an opportunity for cross-promotional events? Absolutely, with the right things. It's a blank slate, and I'm open to just about anything if the right situation shows itself." Which, I mean, you know, very businessman answer.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's, you know, Vince McMahon Sometimes he's a genius. Sometimes he's not.
All Triple H does is makes me want Vince McMahon to die.
Oh, well.
That sounds
or just
super
stop,
horrible.
Or just stop being the
yeah,
chairman
but
of...
he'll never do it.
I know.
But Triple H seems like someone who gets it. And like for wrestling to succeed, everybody has to be on board.
I agree.
I feel like that's what's causing, like, because like when did wrestling become bad again? It was when WWE bought WCW essentially.
I would say, I mean, because wrestling got good for a little bit. I would say wrestling got bad again when Vince McMahon, right after WrestleMania 31.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrestling as a whole?
When did wrestling become not popular?
Probably
When WWE bought WCW and then it became the only thing and everybody
Invasion era.
That's what my point being was. It wasn't about it was about competition. That's what brought out the best in every company.
It'd be when Stone Cold. It'd be when Stone Cold turned heel.
Yeah, okay. My point being is like wrestling wasn't seen as cool anymore because there wasn't anything to grab onto, and I feel like Triple H understands that if everybody worked together, they can bring the entertain the what would you call it? The job? No, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The art form, I guess. The art form back to prominence by having everybody work together to bring on some of the best stuff. And that's what I feel like, because they let Cassius Ohno and Super Strong Style 16 and Progress. You know, that's something that Vince would never do.
Triple H showed up at an ICW event.
Exactly. William Regal came out of Progress like 2 years ago, like when they first started working together. Like it wasn't like confirmed yet, but he walks out. And Finn Balor too. When Finn Balor was injured, he came out.
Pete Dunne took on Will Ospreay when Will Ospreay was the fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Exactly. Triple H understands that like raising the tide raises all boats.
Yes.
A rising tide raises all boats. Vince McMahon thinks my boat is bigger.
And I want my boat to be the biggest.
Exactly. And that's just the wrong mentality in this day and age.
I mean, shit, if you told me that the WWE United Kingdom champion was going to take on the TNA World Heavyweight Champion,
I'd be like,
first
cool.
off, Vince McMahon would go, over my dead body.
Exactly.
But Triple H is like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
promotes
no big
us,
deal.
promotes them, whatever.
Yeah.
It promotes us.
And that's where like this whole crossover idea makes sense for Triple H, because Triple H is just like, I mean, if people will buy it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I work for you guys. It sounds like Triple H is like, I work for you guys. Vince McMahon's like, I'm right.
You can tell when there's an honest Triple H answer and well, he's my dad answer.
Like, yeah, like when they were like, Triple H, what do you feel about Roman turning heel?
Well,
He's already getting booed, so he might be
what's the
already
point?
thing, you know?
John
You
Cena on the
can
other
totally see through it so bad.
John Cena, on the other hand, is perfect. He's like, well, I mean, I just show up and they tell me what to do.
Like, yeah, he has a very military sense of mind.
I
John
love
Cena.
John Cena. I
He's
love
funny
him
as
so much.
But yeah, and that's where my opinion on this. New Japan, it probably won't happen.
Well, yeah.
I could see more likely what would happen is that WWE would send a couple guys to New Japan, maybe for exchange for like Kenny Omega come in and doing like a stint.
All right. So let's safely assume Kenny Omega is worth at least like 3 WWE guys.
Yeah.
Who do they send?
Do you think 3 main eventers or mid card?
Yeah, they're not gonna like Heath Slater.
I could see Kevin Owens, just because he's never done New Japan and he knows everybody there.
Yeah.
I could see
gain.
them sending back AJ for a match.
Yeah.
Just because he's established, and of course Shinsuke.
No, they'll hold on to Shinsuke.
I think if they're gonna do like a kind of like a talent exchange, because that's where I feel like it's gonna be more of.
Braun.
That'd be cool.
If it's for like a one match type
Oh
of
yeah,
deal,
yeah.
they'd send Braun.
Have him come in and just be like, "Whoa, that guy is huge."
Because you named like indie guys. I'm like, well, they're gonna send a WWE guy.
Well, I think because you would want to see someone like Kevin Owens go and team with the Young Bucks.
I would love to see Braun Strowman in New Japan.
Now that
For
you say
one
it, I'm
match.
like, that's cool. Yeah,
Him take on fucking who would he'd face like Tanahashi.
yeah.
That'd be a great match.
Oh yeah, of course.
I wanna see
I
it
would
now.
say more like I would, because I think Braun's a good. He would be like a good. Wow, look at that guy! You know, a good act. And you just have him come in and wreck some young boys.
We're
and people be
killing
like,
it on viewers right now.
How what are we doing?
Well, if you're not including my laptop, we got like 5 people watching us right now. How's
Oh,
it going,
God!
guys?
We got
It's
a prime number.
We're killing it. We're killing it.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's just one of those things where I think it's going to be less of a crossover event and more of talent exchanges.
Yeah.
Like who like I know nobody will ever admit it, but who knows if Jericho did this on his own?
Well, I mean, Don Callis.
Right. I'm saying like he's always said like I got my blessing from Vince.
Yeah, and he's said in interviews like he won't do anything in the States.
Yeah.
As a sign of respect to Vince.
That to me sounds like Vince is in on it.
I mean, again, we're kind of harsh on Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah,
but I think,
we're joking most of the time.
I don't think Vince McMahon hates competition. He loves
no,
competition.
he loves competition. That's why there's brands.
He's just not very good at letting competition exist.
That's true. He wants competition, but he doesn't want to risk the money being made.
Yeah.
For actual competition.
And I don't think I think he's over after WCW because WCW was legitimately trying to destroy his business. Like, as long as, you're not going to New Japan Pro Wrestling with your Intercontinental title and throwing it in the trash, you're fine.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be more of exchanges. We'll send you a guy if you send us a guy. And, like, I could totally see them doing, like, next year, doing, like, an Omega AJ cross-promotion feud.
That'd be really cool.
It'd be something like AJ comes out at, like, New Year's Dash, and, like, everybody's like, oh! And then they have a match at, like, Dominion. And then they have a match at SummerSlam. And then they finally cultivate it at WrestleMania.
Oh, but I'd want them to bring in Okada for somebody.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, like, they might start with, like, a foot in the water.
Yeah.
Do something like AJ is a safe bet because he's already established in New Japan. They're both the only two Gaijins to win the IWGP title in, like, 15 years. You could send Brock, but I don't think Brock is going to be doing wrestling anymore. But that's my point, being like... So I could see it be more along those lines rather than a crossover event where it's like WWE versus New Japan Pro Wrestling, like people want. I think it's going to be more of, we'll send you a guy, you send us a guy, we'll tell a story together. It won't really be related to anything else, so that way we can kind of keep it interesting.
And hey, not to be this douchebag, but it hurts Impact.
I don't think WWE cares.
I don't think they care, but at the same time, I would much rather see New Japan strike up a partnership with WWE than Impact Wrestling.
Well, I think that's what Triple H's plan is in the future, is to have partnerships between all the companies, but still friendly competition.
Yeah.
And that way you guys could do, like I said, like exchanges more of a bigger
And that's
level.
probably why these United Kingdom contracts allow although them letting Toni Storm do whatever she wants. I'm like, you need her.
No, I think that's just to... She's so young, man.
I know, but
you can have her do a year of that, still learn, and then when she comes in and be a full-time NXT person, she can kill it.
She's already
It's
so good,
essentially like Candice LeRae style. Candice LeRae was basically in WWE for a year before she actually got on NXT TV.
But so what they're doing with the United Kingdom contracts, I think that's a good idea. You guys can wrestle for whoever you want, but these dates are important. You need to be there.
Who do you think is going to win?
The United Kingdom.
I haven't seen any of the first round matches yet. I'm going to watch that probably after Money in the Bank tonight.
I'm trying to remember who's in it because I
Zach Gibson, Joe Coffey, Flash Morgan Webster, Joseph Connors, Jordan Devlin.
I want to say Joe Coffey.
Think Joe Coffey's going to win?
Zach Gibson or Joe Coffey?
Zach Gibson's my choice. I think he's going to win. I think they're going to... It's either that or they want to do someone cool. Like a Jordan Devlin would be sweet, but I don't think he's established enough.
I don't think Jordan Devlin has that.
He's been killing it. Like, I don't watch it enough, but from the stuff I've seen, he's been killing it in OTT.
He's fine, but he
the
doesn't
import killer.
He doesn't have the it factor.
Have you seen him recently?
Plus,
I'm actually I'm not trying to make you feel like a dick, but have you watched any of his matches recently?
I have.
I watched him in the Super Strong Style of 16. I went, oh.
Plus, not to be this guy, his head's too big.
Have you heard the chants?
Yeah.
Your head's too big for you.
His head's too big.
Head's too big
It is. He's got this tiny, skinny little man body, and his head's
but he's
square.
He's actually really cool, though.
He looks like one of those blockheads from Gumby.
Yeah. No, totally true. But I would say if I had to pick someone in the tournament... Yeah, Zach Gibson is probably who I think is going to win.
My thing with him is he's kind of like a Drew Gulak, where I see him doing well, but I don't see him winning it. That's why I'm That's why I'm
fair.
leaning towards Joe Coffey.
I think it's got to be someone who's already been established, not someone like. So it could be someone who was in it last year and didn't win.
That's what I don't think it's going to be
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Okay.
Because then what was the?
I would love to see Dave Mastiff. win it because Dave Masters is literally just me. He's just me. The bastard, Dave Masters. You know, and I could see them giving it to him because he was the face of World of Sport, and the only way to convince someone to basically give up a lead role, maybe give him the title.
Yeah, that.
But he.
Well,
they're
getting
because he's not that good. Like he's great, he's fine, but he's not like the best.
They're getting ready to, you know, they're making the moves to having their own UK show.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Johnny Saint's the GM.
What I would love to see, like, I don't know if I ever told you this idea of mine I had a few years ago when they first started talking about the UK division. I thought they were going to do is buy a bunch of, like, start working with a bunch of independent companies around the world, sign up a talent to, like, not exclusive contracts like they're doing.
Yeah, in a way, that's what they're doing.
Film in their promotions, cut together, like, an hour or two show for the network called, like, The World, like WWE World. And it'd just be, like, matches from across the world. And it's just kind of like, it was like their own way of doing, like, a mashup.
Similar to what, like, Impact Wrestling
yeah,
does.
but this was before Impact was doing that when I had this idea. Because I really thought that's what they were going to do. Because at the time, they were talking about doing a Latin American championship and a Japanese one.
I'm kind of glad they're not going that route.
It would make more sense for them to have, hey, Charlie Caruso here talking about welcome to WWE World.
You name dropped my favorite. I'm like, I love Charlie Caruso. She's
Or
great.
something like, I'm just picking a person, but they're like, yeah, today we're going to start off with a match from Brazil. This guy versus this guy, and then we should see the match, and it's like a 15-minute match and whatever. Then there's wow, that match was great. We're gonna go live to Progress, who's doing it. We're gonna have Dave Mastiff versus Zach Gibson, you know, and they have a match. That's what I thought they were gonna do, and they're not doing that. So I would love to see that happen.
A logistical nightmare.
Not really, because it's no work on WWE's part.
I mean, because you know, the biggest mistake of 205 Live is it's live.
And I thought this was around the time that 205 Live just started. I thought they were gonna attach it to 205 Live. I thought the way they did it was bad, and I thought it was going to fail, and then they would do what I did. Because then you could do, like, American shows. Like, you could, like, Evolve. You could put, like, Evolve. We have Cedric defending the Cruiserweight title against Noam Dar at Evolve. And then they cut to that. It would be kind of cool. And it reminds me of, like, an old NWA kind of way, like when the Best of Starcades or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best way to do what they want to do with the least amount of spending. Because it's all on the other things. Maybe give them a couple grand to get better cameras. Like Evolve needs better cameras.
Yeah.
God, they're awful.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. Obviously, they're probably not going to go that route.
No, they're definitely
it's
not. But that was my
WWE. They
I thought
want it to be theirs.
Yeah, and that's just a bad. Well, Triple H isn't like that. Vince McMahon wants it to be theirs.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't blame Vince.
But like, think about like, remember like the
no, you're good.
But think about like how he was talking about global localization, and then think of my idea.
No,
If they called it NXT World, that would make all the sense in the world to do it that way. Because if they have like, if they work with like Pro Wrestling Noah, and then like they're like, here's the Asian NXT Asia Championship, and then they have it. Then they have the North America Championship being defended in Evolve, and then they do like a Latin American like CMLL, not CMLL, like AAA or Crash, something like that.
Oh, they'd work with AAA before they work with Crash.
Yeah, but AAA has such a bad taste.
I know, but Conan
owns Crash.
I know, but that's why they wouldn't work with him.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's also like other whatever.
Yeah.
But my point being,
Conan
like,
is the Loki.
Oh fuck. Loki's on MLW, and I was
He's
like, oh,
awful.
Man. He's such a dick, but he's a good wrestler.
loved him, but he's such a dick.
He's a good wrestler, but he's a dick.
It's hard to love him. It's hard to love him.
He is a dick. But that's what I think they're gonna be trying to push for. I think that's what would be a better idea.
All right. So WWE is obviously trying to just destroy the memory that was WrestleMania 28 because they are getting ready for Australia Super Show in a 100,000 something seat arena. And apparently their idea on how to fill that 100,000 seat arena so far
Triple H
is
versus Undertaker.
Triple H versus Undertaker 1. The end of an era.
I have a theory.
Again.
Yeah, well, I think they're just doing that because Undertaker wants to wrestle in Australia.
Well, they need him to wrestle in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. They needed him to wrestle in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know what I was listening to a podcast and somebody mentioned like this might be Undertaker doing these random matches might be just him wanting to do things one more time before he retires. Because I'm still thinking it's going to be John Cena Undertaker next year.
I hope so.
Retirement match.
I hope so.
John Cena's career versus Undertaker's
I'll settle for a
career.
10-minute match.
Well, yeah, it'll be a great match if their careers are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like Undertaker's like, I can get hurt as much as I want because I'm done.
Yeah, screw it. Put me in a wheelchair.
Fucking, so I'm going to do my dive. I'm going to do all the crazy shit that I did
I don't
because
want
it's my
him to
one
do
last
the dive.
time.
I don't want him to do the dive.
I think it will be his one last time. And I think the reason why he's like, he did the Madison Square Garden show.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that was just him like, I want to wrestle in the Garden one more time. You know, like things like that. If you do it if you think about it that way, it makes sense. He's like, well, I've never wrestled in Australia or haven't done it in 20 years. Makes sense. Him being in Saudi Arabia could have been his decision rather than Vince's.
They announced some of the stars expect to see, and I got excited because they referred to the Iconics as the Australian tag team.
Yeah.
That was kind of exciting. Like, oh, that's nice. I love the Iconics.
Me too.
They are adorable and hilarious, and them running everybody down was great. I want nothing but good things for them. They are the SmackDown Dana Brooke for me, where I'm just like, I'm always going to root for them.
You root for Dana Brooke?
Anytime-
I could give a fuck less
I know-
about
no,
Dana
I know,
Brooke. I'm
but
sorry.
anytime-
I could give. She's the one person I'd be like, nah, I don't really care.
Yeah, anytime we're like sitting here going like, I don't know who could win this one. I'm like, fuck it, Dana Brooke. She wins.
I really could give a fuck
no.
less. And I'm not trying to, like, she's fine. She's nice. She seems like a good person. If she got released tomorrow, I'd be like, cool.
Okay, she is the knuckleball Schwartz of the women's division.
I was going to say she's like the Brooklyn Brawler.
Dude,
Yeah.
same person. Oh my god.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah,
I
they're
wasn't
the
even
same
thinking.
person.
I've never heard of the knuckle, whatever you said.
He's the evil baseball player.
Oh, okay. I was thinking just Brooklyn Brawler, like, he's just there to lose.
Yeah. Wrestling. She's nice.
Yeah, she seems nice.
She seems nice.
But, like, as a character, I'm like, whatever.
she seems nicer than Bailey. And
It is.
Bailey's entire gimmick is she's nice.
Yeah. Dude, okay, side note. This has nothing to do with what we were talking about. Okay, have you watched Tournament of Death 17?
No.
Ricky Shane Page. Do you know Ricky Shane Page?
Yes.
He came out dressed up as Bailey
That's
at Tournament of Death. They introduced him as the Bailey of Deathmatch Wrestling. It was so damn funny, man. He just comes out. He's like doing the hands and like stuff like that. He has the I'm a Hugger shirt on, and then he goes and literally breaks glass over people's faces. But
Nice.
it's so funny to me.
New Japan Pro Wrestling just announced their list for the G1 Climax.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. You're gonna. They haven't announced.
Ooh, I haven't seen this yet.
Matchups yet, but
I know that.
Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Oh, Michael Elgin. Actually, I think they did because so Kenny Omega, I think is going to take on Michael Elgin.
Just read the
Yeah,
matches.
Kenny Omega, Michael Elgin, Jay White,
Okay.
Hiroshi Tanahashi,
Okay.
Togi Makabe,
All right.
Makabe,
That'll probably be his last one.
Juice Robinson,
Okay.
Kazuchika Okada,
Okay. He's gonna win.
Hiroki Goto,
Okay.
Tomohiro Ishii,
Okay.
Toru Yano, Yoshihashi. I'm
All
getting
right.
real good at this shit.
Yeah.
Bad Luck Fale,
Eh.
Tamatanga, Hangman Page, Tetsuya
Oh.
Naito, Evil, Sonata, Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Kota Ibushi.
Damn it! I thought they were gonna announce Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
I just said literally 5-10 minutes ago. I was saying Will Ospreay's gonna be secret entrance G1.
He might be.
No, because
Oh.
that's the list.
That's the list? All right.
That's the competitor, so he's not in it.
So these, I saw their Facebook page. I think they announced the matchup. So I think it's just.
I just need to know the blocks. That's
Yeah.
really all that matters. Because truthfully, it's hard to keep up with the G1.
Yeah.
Like it's every day for like weeks. I did last year pretty well. I got all the way to like at least the semifinals.
Yeah. New Japan's for you better be a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
It's
for
the
sure.
Evangelion
Well,
of
it's
wrestling
like,
fan.
if you watched all the G1 shows, you'd be fucking done. You can't watch anything else.
No more New Japan for me.
Yeah, I just try to watch the block matches, the tournament matches at least.
All right. So before we get into our Money in the Bank predictions, because we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon.
I had the card right.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about, first up, yesterday was NXT TakeOver Chicago, and there's some controversy surrounding this. Some people are calling it the least exciting takeover. I think it's because we've been spoiled.
That's
For so long, it's been people who need to be on the main roster now main eventing being on the takeover cards. And now this is the first time in a while where it's people who belong in NXT. Except the main event. and the tag
Tell me your
match.
opinion and I'll tell you mine.
Okay, I liked it. I liked it all, but I like wrestling.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless it has the word
Can
impact.
we just change this podcast name to I Like Wrestling?
Oh, sometimes we could play.
All right.
Unless it has the word impact in front of it, I'm usually like, all right, I'm ready to enjoy this show.
Yeah.
I love CZW now, and I used to hate Combat
Dude,
Zone.
it's so weird.
It's so good.
It's so weird because I was the same way.
Well, for a while, Combat Zone was bad.
Oh, dude, I went back and watched a lot of Tournament of Death, and man, it's fucking sketchy.
So anyway, first let's start with the NXT. Well, what did you think before we go into?
I think the card the whole show was fantastic. One missed spot is putting a little bit of people's sour taste.
And wrestling,
one missed spot
Yeah,
for the entire
wrestling's
show.
not perfect. Wrestling's not
that's
perfect.
exactly what I said. It was one missed spot with Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black, which he missed the kick, and instead of Lars just going like, "You missed the kick, idiot," he fell. It was just a bad timed move.
Yeah.
That one move is souring people.
Lars Sullivan is still a believable monster.
If-
Aleister Black is still a believable ass
If you
kicker.
remove that one spot, this show would be people would be like, it's as good as New Orleans.
Yeah,
I really believe that.
I agree.
It was just one missed spot, and people were like, I thought this was supposed to be perfect. I'm like, no.
No.
It was just one mistake.
Wrestling's hard.
Yeah, wrestling is hard.
So it opens
But
up.
that match was fantastic.
it was
though.
really good.
It was fantastic. I was half asleep in it because I've been having sleeping problems lately.
Well, I think it's because, before Aleister Black, we were getting Andrade Cien Almas and his
Yeah.
epics with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
And before that, it was Bobby Roode and his two great. I mean, Drew McIntyre was champion before Bobby Roode, but he only held the title for a minute.
Right.
Because he was main event roster ready the minute he showed up.
Right.
Then it was Bobby Roode in his two classics with Shinsuke. And then Shinsuke had all of his bouts with Samoa Joe.
Right.
And then before that, it was Samoa Joe taking on Finn Balor. And
Yeah.
then Finn Balor held the title forever.
All this show proved to me was Lars isn't ready yet.
At least main roster. ready.
That's what I mean. Like, he's not ready yet to go to main roster.
And that's fine.
I think if he killed this match and that botch didn't happen, I think they were going to plan to set him up.
Well, I think it shows that it's good that because obviously the rumor was that he was supposed to be the one who took on Andrade in New Orleans.
Right.
And I think he was obviously supposed to win it.
I think Triple H
Because
made
he
the
was
call.
going to drop the title to Alistair.
That makes sense.
So I think it was just cutting the middleman out.
I think, like I said, they're not fully convinced
Or
he's
cutting out
ready.
the middleman.
I think he's not. They're not. Triple H is not convinced he's ready.
But he did give him praise at the end. Saying,
Well, he's not going to talk shit about his own show.
You know who is ready?
Aleister Black
And Velveteen Dream.
and Velveteen. Well,
And
Velveteen,
Ricochet.
Okay, I disagree. Velveteen needs another 6 months.
He needs another 6 months so main roster creative.
I would love him to be the North American champion. I
Yeah.
think he's perfect for that. And
He's going to hold that belt.
I think he's going to be a face at NXT and then debut as a heel on main roster. Give him a chance to feud with Adam Cole, win the title, and then lose it like the next month to whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee.
All right. So, first up, we had Undisputed Era.
Dude, this match was fantastic.
Oh, it was match of the night.
Yeah.
It was, at least for me, it was match of the night.
Yeah.
Not counting the street fight.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's-
for sure. Yeah, that's God tier.
That's match of the year, feud of the year. If you're not talking about,
It's
Kenny
gonna be
Om-
win feud of the year for sure.
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, first off, a star-making performance by Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Yeah.
Both of which, who are great wrestlers and I love, but that's because I'm a wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. So I love what they do.
I've been following Odie for like since 2014.
Oni Lorcan is like, I love Oni Lorcan matches.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to get
And guess where he was? Guess where he made his bones?
Combat Zone.
Combat Zone
Biff
Wrestling.
Busick. Yeah, no.
Biff Busick and PWG. That's really where he made his bones.
And
but-
I mean, he's familiar with these guys because
Yeah.
he fought Roderick Strong in PWG.
yeah.
Fucking violent match.
Yo, hell yeah, dude.
So, and I mean, you have Kyle O'Reilly, who's a great wrestler. You have Roderick Strong, who's the best wrestler
On paper, Roger Shaw's the best wrestler
in the
world.
entire fight.
Like if you talk about like from technique, not charisma, not anything, like from a pure in-ring standard, I honestly could say he's probably the best wrestler in the world.
And Danny Burch, who I think at the last United Kingdom tournament really like changed a lot of people.
I think he was supposed to win that match.
I agree.
I think he was supposed to win that match, but because he got his head busted open, they had Devlin win.
I mean, it was stupid that they stopped the match, but he was bleeding real bad.
I would have stopped the match.
Yeah.
I would have been like, nah, you're dead, dude. If we don't help.
So, I mean,
But this match is great. I think.
Any match that ends with the losers getting a standing ovation from the audience, that's a great match.
Yeah. There's just so much respect with NXT. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about
No
it.
CM Punk chance. You know what's probably going to get a lot of CM Punk chance tonight?
That Roman Jinder match.
Oh, hell
It's gonna be
yeah.
CM Punk.
Hell yeah.
But my point, like, NXT just seems like everybody's in on it. It's like a big PWG. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's following. Everybody gets it.
And it's not just at the Full Sail arena.
Right.
It's everywhere. Every arena they go to, the fans are there for the same reason.
Except for when they were in Dallas? No.
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
No.
Houston?
It was
El
Orlando.
Paso-
Orlando.
Mm.
When they were, because remember, everyone's like, we are the best section.
Oh,
Section
fuck Florida.
105. 105. Remember that? It was during Alistair's debut.
No, because I was watching. I came into that as that match was wrapping up.
Yeah, so in that
So I saw all the good stuff.
Yeah. During the match, this one section was getting all post Mania E, and everybody was like distracted. It was Aleister Black versus
Like
all
that
this.
WrestleMania 29 crowd was fine the one time, and then every crowd after that.
I'm all about hyping up Raw after Mania as the erratic,
Oh, yeah.
get ourselves over.
That's where I
kind of
learned the
thing.
John Cena sucks chant. John
Yeah.
Cena sucks.
Dude, I was there for the debut of Beach Balls in the audience.
I hate
I was
the Beach Balls.
in the audience. But if they made it like the Raw after WrestleMania is known for that and things like that,
Yeah.
it'd be a lot of fun.
But every crowd.
But now people.
How
are like,
many crowds after WrestleMania 29 were doing the wave?
Exactly.
How many crowds after WrestleMania 29
But
were
yeah, if they did it like, if they were like, WrestleMania is over, our story is done. This is our relaxed.
Yeah.
Raw. This is a little more fun.
Yeah.
And this is where everybody debuts. Like people come in and debut.
The first Mike Chioda chant was funny. The second one was not funny
Right.
because he wasn't even the ref during the chant.
Yeah. But like, if they made it, if they WWE played up the fact that Raw after Mania is where, because they're always like, this is a bizarre world, we're the bad guys. If they were just like, hey guys, welcome to, last night was fun, tonight's just more of a celebration of, it's kind of like a day off, but like we're still going to have great competition, we're still going to have matches, but it's going to be a little bit more fun. Have the referee come out in like a Hawaiian shirt, have it be like, it's like fun.
Oh, on that note, you saw Joey Janela is doing
In New York?
Escape
Yeah.
from New York. I love
I'm
it.
so bummed I can't go.
I love it. So then after that tag match, we had Ricochet taking on the Velveteen Dream.
That match was fantastic. I don't know what went wrong at the beginning. Something was off at the beginning that they were like missing stuff. Because Velveteen was missing some spots. But like that's why I say he needs like 6 more months.
Yeah.
He needs to work.
I think I think the thing is that Aleister Black feud was so good because it was entirely surrounded on introducing Velveteen
Yeah.
Dream that now it's kind of like, okay, we have this character and he's interesting and he's compelling and he's charismatic and he's athletic. They need to find something for him.
Yeah.
Something real to
I think
do now.
making him a face is where it's at in NXT. Once he goes to the main roster, have him start fresh and be. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Have him start over and be back to where he was at square one in NXT. But I think NXT wants to cheer him, and what I mean by playing in what the crowd wants, give him that.
Or give him a baby face to really do heel stuff with.
No, but like
'Cause well,
what I like about Velveteen Dream is he's a heel, but
he's the morally gray character Roman Reigns pretends to
exactly
be.
he says things that are snarky. He's a dick. Like that's all it is. Like everybody loves him, but he's a dick, and that's I think what they need to play into right now. Which they were kind of doing when
Well, I think they want Ricochet to be that guy. They
yeah.
want him to be the next Aleister Black for
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream. I don't know if he has the this is going to sound weird because Ricochet's got tons of personality. He doesn't have the personality to go against Velveteen Dream.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. But I don't really have a reason why I disagree. I just disagree.
Like, I think he can. I hope. I'm hopeful. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, it's not the guy.
Yeah.
That's my worry is I guess I need both of because
I
Aleister
was-
Black did
yeah.
not need to prove anything to me during this feud.
No.
Ricochet, on the other hand, I'm like, I kind of need to have. Besides, he does really cool flippy stuff. He seems like a real cool guy. But
Flip, dude.
oh,
That flip he did out of the ring, he's, show me. That was so fucking cool. And with Ricochet, I think I was so stoked of them teaming together. Mm-hmm. That's why I was that's why I say like he needs to be a face.
Yeah.
Because that little bit of week, that 1 week that they were teasing that they were going to be friends, I was stoked. Because I was like, they could be a fantastic
Well, 'cause
tag team.
I like those-
even if it's just like an alliance rather than a tag team.
I think because Dream is such a good heel. That's why he gets cheered because he's so. Into
But I want him to be a good guy.
I agree.
But I don't want him to lose any of his sass.
I don't want him to be a good guy.
I want him to be a good guy, but don't lose any of the sass. Still be kind of a dick, but know that about the character and kind of like play it.
like a face rock.
I was thinking like a CM Punk.
Yeah.
Where like CM Punk was, even when he was a babyface, he was kind of a dick. But not be CM
Like
Punk.
if
I'm
you
saying
com-
like the idea of
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
like have him come out and be like still be the, pucking the lips and shit and
I'm just saying he would be able to.
Adam Cole.
He'd probably be closer to The Rock than a CM Punk because The Rock was still a dick.
Yeah, we're talking about Velveteen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah,
because
no-
I see Ricochet is exactly like The Rock. That's why I was confused.
Oh, he's not. He doesn't have the attitude.
He has the swagger though.
He's got the swagger. He doesn't have the attitude.
He just doesn't have bass in his voice. That's
Yeah.
all it is. If he had a little bit of bass in his voice, which I can't fault a guy for not having bass
yeah,
in his
that's-
voice.
It's. I mean, that's Bobby Lashley's problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's also Roderick Strong's problem. Roderick Strong would be in the WWE in the main event if he had a bass in his voice because he's so good.
At least as a babyface.
as a baby.
As a heel, he can get away with it.
Yeah, as a heel, he's kind of like the jock. I always say he's like a jock.
I love Roderick Strong
Yeah,
so
I do.
fucking much.
But that's my opinion. I think
and he is eating up the Undisputed Era stuff. I love.
I've been saying since he's debuted, I'm like, he needs to be a heel. He needs to be a heel because I've seen his heel work. Him and PWG, like I don't know, you're watching PWG now. Watch him in the feud with Zack Sabre Jr. from start to finish. Basically, I think it's like Mystery Vortex all the way to All-Star Weekend, like 12.
Yeah.
I want to say. Watch all those matches. He is the best heel. Like they watch the Guerrilla Warfare 4-on-4 match. Joey Ryan, Candice. Who else was in that match? Zack Sabre, I think. I think Chris Hero. It was Chris Hero. Watch that match against Roderick Strong, Young Bucks, and Adam Cole. Watch that match, and you'll see why he's a great heel.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving.
Cool.
Next up, we had the NXT Women's Title match. Ricochet went over with 630 senton. It's
Yep.
gorgeous.
Yep.
Gorgeous 630
I was a little
senton.
scared. He didn't look like he had a lot of height in that one.
He did like 6,000 flips.
I know, but if you look at it, like his
No,
head
yeah, yeah.
barely missed. I was like, oh shit.
Then you had the NXT Women's Title match. Nikki Cross took on Shayna Baszler.
Honestly, the weakest match of the show.
But I mean,
But that's not saying much.
it's not. It wasn't a
I
bad
don't
match.
think these two had any chemistry.
No, I mean, okay. I love Nikki Cross.
The match was fine, but I just don't
I
think they had
think
chemistry.
I think Nikki Cross's character limits the story she can tell in the ring.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really allow her to have like a move set. She's just sporadic and attacking. And as good as Shayna Baszler is, she's still new.
Yeah. Shayna needs work.
The end of the match was the best part
Yeah,
of the match
for sure.
because Nikki Cross.
I also really like the beginning.
Yeah.
The very beginning where she's just standing there like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then Shayna throws like a huh, and she just looks at her. She's like, do it.
I think this is Nikki.
Did it.
This is Nikki Cross's last. She's probably going to go up to the main roster.
going with
I think
Sandy.
enough people were like, "That's ridiculous. You need her for Sandy." So, and she'll do great on the SmackDown roster.
Yeah, she will.
She'll do awesome.
She'd be a perfect foil to like.
Well, like Charlotte can take her to a good match. Becky can take her to a good match.
I was thinking more of like she'd be a perfect foil for the Iconics at first. Like have like because I think she is going to be a part of Sanity again.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to separate them. I think there'll be less. It'll be more of just like her going out there and they're just there with her.
What I'm saying is I think there's enough talent there to where Nikki Cross won't have to be like the ringleader because she's so into that character.
She's a great supporting cast member.
She's a good villain.
I want her to be a babyface.
I mean, she's a babyface, but she's
I think Sanity is a good face team, but they need to still be kind of heelish.
Next up, we had Lars Sullivan taking on Aleister Black.
Fantastic
It
match.
was a great match.
Except for just that one spot.
And even that's like whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just a mistake. It's
Yeah, it
a
happens.
mistake that anyone would make.
Yeah,
You're in the middle of a match. You're trying to be a professional.
yeah.
He hit the kick.
And Lars is still pretty new, man.
Yeah.
Like this. That's why I think this was supposed to prove if he was ready for Maine or not.
And this was to give Aleister Black a challenge, a real like Aleister Black might lose this match
Yeah.
challenge, but he didn't. He
No.
won with a black mass and another black mass.
right.
And
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It was
No,
a good
yeah.
match. I love the intensity. I loved like when he won the match. You see how mad he was. It was so cool.
Aleister Black,
Aleister Black's the best.
he's probably gonna hold that title for a while.
I think so too.
I think
I think he'll
Ciampa
lose-
might take that title from him.
I would love that.
Or
I love
Keith Lee.
Ciampa. Keith Lee, I could see. I think Keith Lee's going to go after the North American title. I think
yeah.
he's going to be that, and then he can kind of do what Adam Cole's doing.
Because
Like,
they didn't really do anything with Adam Cole.
no, they didn't because I think they're saying because he's going to defend it at the UK show.
Yeah.
So I bet you they were just like, well, we don't need it.
And then the main event, the reason you all came to see this, probably the
I
best,
didn't want this to be the main event, and I'm glad that it was.
probably the best feud in WWE
Yeah.
in a while.
It was getting a little boring on NXT. They were hammering home a lot of issues I wasn't a fan of. I don't like the way Candice has been treated.
No, because we just want to see Candice wrestle. I think they wanted to get this Nikki Cross
I
stuff
thought
out
they
of
were
the
going
way.
to go the route of her cheating on him with Ciampa.
Oh, gross.
And I was so scared.
Gross.
I was so scared
Gross.
because like you saw all the writing on the wall for that.
Yeah, when
Like
Steven Larson
that's
on their
the
pod,
real reason
when
why
S-
he turned on
when
him is because
Steven
he's in
Larson
love
were
with
talking
Candice.
about it, I'd be like, it's gross.
If they did it like I just said, where it's like the
of
reason
an
he turned,
obsession almost.
yeah, I'd be down as
Just no
fuck with
cheating.
that.
Just no cheating. Just an
Not
obsession.
actual cheating, but like have it be like he was obsessed with Candice. Like
Mm-hmm.
Candice is the foil. She is the Yoko Ono of DIY, and she had no clue.
But that's not fair to Candice.
No, I understand, but that's the only reason that makes sense for Candice to be in the story.
Oh, she's Johnny Gargano's wife.
But she's more than that.
Yeah.
I would love it to be like why, like have them come together and just be like, why did you turn on me?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I can't tell you the real reason. It's your fault though. It's your fault. I can't tell you the reason. And finally, he's like, breaks down. Like he's all intense, but then finally he gets back to like normal Ciampa, like
Mm-hmm.
DIY Ciampa. And he's like, I'm in love with Candice.
I'm glad they didn't go that route.
No, like if he was just like, I love Candice LeRae, and Johnny Gargano is like, yeah, fuck you, you can't have my wife. And it's like a genuine, like, he doesn't know how to react to that feeling. I'd be so down with that. It's something different.
I'm glad they didn't go down that route.
I understand why they
Because
wouldn't,
I
but it'd be
mean-
very interesting.
Well, it's a way. It to me is like it's compelling for them, but it's a waste of Candice LeRae.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree.
And I think like women's wrestling, I feel like we need to evolve past that point.
Yeah, I understand.
So anyway, this was probably one of the most brutal WWE matches in a very long time.
yeah,
I
love it.
can't remember the last time I've seen a WWE match that made me go, Jesus Christ.
I'd say the last time was Undertaker Brock and
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell was probably the last one I saw.
I mean, and the storytelling alone, when he puts the chair on Johnny Gargano's head and he shoves him into the steel steps.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or
He got him in the fucking air raid siren
and did it on
jumped-
the stairs, right?
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my God, that was
when they
brutal.
tore up the ring.
Yeah, I love that. I love when they do things like that.
It was amazing. And Tommaso Ciampa.
My favorite part of the match. It's such a dumb thing to be the favorite part of this match, but it's when Ciampa goes through the tables and then they're stretching him out, and then Johnny just starts pulling him back. He's like, Johnny, no, Johnny, stop it, please, no. And he legit sounds like he's in pain.
I know.
And he's like, please don't.
That's some Terry.
Please don't
That's some
do
Terry
it.
Funk stuff.
This match is exactly how I like hardcore matches be booked. I don't like it when they're just like, we're having a hardcore match and they just beat each other with weapons, but there's nothing about it.
No, I agree. I agree.
This is like the part where he like chains them up and then super kicks them like 15 times. That's awesome. That's stuff I want to see. If these guys hate each other that much, I want to see brutality. Mm-hmm. Like I know that's why maybe my like new obsession with deathmatch wrestling, which I've been kind of getting out of, but at the moment it's because it's real. It's brutality. It's how you would actually be in a fight.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked about it is just it felt very real.
Tommaso Ciampa went over. Do you think this is the end of the feud?
No,
No.
I think they'll have a Hell in a Cell match.
That's what I was going to say.
Hell in a Cell or
3 stages of hell.
or Iron Man, 60-minute Iron Man. I could see them doing that.
Yeah, but this is if this was for a title, maybe, but this is a blood feud.
Yeah, but it could also be like Ciampa's like, we can't let you get lucky. Like Johnny's like, I don't want you to get lucky again. I have to win definitively. And then you can still have everything you would. They could go the route that they were planning with the last man standing.
Yeah,
But I feel like that's whatever.
they have not the reason I think it is going to be in Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
is because they have not done it in NXT. This is a Hell in a Cell type of feud. Triple H believes Hell in a Cells need to mean something.
Yeah.
And I think people would flip out.
Yeah.
I think
I'm down.
just putting Gargano and Ciampa in a Hell in a Cell match, first time in NXT ever, especially with this feud.
And have like a cool NXT style Hell in a Cell. Like make it like old bars. But still have it like everything like a Hell in a Cell, but have it like the old school bars. Like they did with the cage with Balor and Joe.
Triple H is so fucking smart.
He just knows what's cool, even though
damn it.
he is not cool.
No, although he is cool.
He's kinda
He's
cool.
a conundrum.
He's a conundrum.
Triple H is
He's
conundrum.
dad cool. He's like the cool
I
dad.
find it funny.
Son, I ride my motorcycle, take my son to school on my motorcycle. All right.
All right, let's wrap it up real quick. We're going to be doing our. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know, there's going to be a pay-per-view in like a minute.
Yeah, I got to run show him to see it.
We're going to be doing our predictions real quick for it. I've kind of given mine.
Okay, I can do mine,
But I will do
remind
mine
me
as
because
well.
I didn't see yours.
So the kickoff match, which probably just happened, so we could announce. Let's just fucking answer that.
Well,
question.
let's answer and then we'll find the answer.
We're going to just skip it and then we'll because we already gave it.
Okay.
So Big Cass takes on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan wins, but I think
No, it's the end.
I think he'll break his leg.
Yeah.
I think he'll shoot like fake.
Shoot, break his leg.
He'll be like, and he'll break his leg, and then he'll kind of feel bad about
Mm-hmm.
it. Cass will be back on crutches, and people are like, is he really on crutches or what? I don't know.
Well, it's the end of the feud.
I think Daniel Bryan wins.
Cass goes.
Yeah, I think Cass will go maybe fight Jeff Hardy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, Bobby Lashley, and then
think Zayn wins.
no,
I think he wins with a chair.
no,
And by win, I mean he's going to get DQ'd.
that's no.
Yeah,
I want this feud over.
I know, but it's
I
not.
hate this feud.
It's not gonna.
It's such a terrible
It's never
feud.
gonna
It's
end.
awful.
It's going to finish at SummerSlam.
It's such a bad feud.
Yeah.
I agree. You're right, but I'm like
No.
I'm going with Bobby Lashley because I
They
want
have
this
nothing
feud.
planned for Bobby for SummerSlam.
No,
He's
they have
gonna-
nothing planned for Bobby Lashley. Period. They just signed
it
him. to
just
sign
makes
him.
sense.
Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal. I'm going with Jinder.
I think so, Jinder. Yeah, that's what I would pick too.
Yeah.
I think he'll
Nefarious means.
Nefarious means. I think this is going to be a very, very
This will-
dusty.
This will be the
card.
worst match of the night. By the way, I'm calling it.
I'm looking.
Then Asuka Carmella. I'm gonna go with Asuka. A lot of people are saying that she doesn't win with the title, but I'm like, I don't think they could pull that bullshit again. Asuka lost to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Asuka needs to win
Yeah, Oscar.
because the next one.
Wait, what's the next pay per view? Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Carmella wins.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
If this was,
I guess I forgot that. You know,
I thought SummerSlam was the next one, so I kind of was like, oh yeah.
well, Asuka wins, but she doesn't win the title.
I think agreed.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'd say. I think James
That's
Ellsworth.
lame.
James Ellsworth costs Asuka the title, but she'll still win.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
So that way they can keep this feud going. Extreme Rules. They will be Asuka versus Carmella. James Ellsworth in the corner. It is going to be essentially an unsanctioned intergender match.
And then Ronda Rousey takes on Nia Jax. Nia's winning, but not clean.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
Ronda wins. Clean.
Ronda wins the title.
Clean.
This one of those. Okay.
And I think she gets cashed on Raw the next day.
Ooh.
I think they're going to swerve us because WWE, for some fucking reason, likes to swerve people these days.
Stupid. They don't
They're
do
going
a
to
good
have
job
two
of it.
Raw Money in the Bank winners.
Yeah. I mean, they have to.
No, they don't.
Well, they should.
But I think that's my prediction because I'll tell you who I think is going to win. But when we get there,
Okay, I'm going to disagree because I think you and I have different ideas on who wins the women's Money in the Bank. Then we're going to have an Intercontinental title match. Elias taking on Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins wins.
Seth Rollins. He's.
Elias will. This is going to be a make or break for Elias.
I think he's
This
going
is
to do
gonna,
fine.
I think he'll do fine, but I think this is going to be the moment where they decide if he's good enough to be Intercontinental title. Because I think Elias is going to get the title, just not now.
Yeah.
I think Extreme Rules do like a guitar on a pole match.
He's so good though. Like Sarah and I were watching Raw, and Elias shows up. She's like, "I really like Elias." I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's great.
He's great. Elias
He's fucking
is great.
fantastic.
Then we're gonna have Shinsuke taking on AJ.
Shinsuke wins, finally gets the title.
Finally, I think the last man standing match was stupid because they gave away that finish at Backlash.
Yeah, I think they'll do that. I don't know who's going to face next. They might have a rematch, Extreme Rules. And
That's
then
what they'll do.
Set up, and then maybe AJ gets it back at that point, and then they can have AJ versus, I don't know, like Daniel Bryan or something.
And then Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalia versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks.
All right, you go first.
You go first.
No, you go first. You've already said yours. I want to kind of surprise you.
All right. Let me tell you, this is who I think's going to win and also who I want to win.
Okay.
Becky Lynch is going to win that Money in the Bank. She needs it. She needs it. She needs it. Because then she's going to cash it in on whoever the fuck is holding that title at SummerSlam.
I'm ready to fucking drop the mic because I'm gonna.
Drop it.
I know I'm right.
Drop that mic.
I know I'm gonna.
Is it Natalia?
Sasha Banks is gonna win the Money in the Bank, cash it in the next night, and then feud with Bayley for a SummerSlam blow-off match to finally finish this fucking feud.
Here's why you're wrong.
All right.
Bayley cost Sasha Banks the match.
No.
Okay.
No, I think Bayley will help Sasha cash in, and then Sasha will turn back on Bayley.
No. Bayley's going to cost Sasha the Money in the Bank match.
Sasha Banks.
She's going to pull a Paul
I've been thinking
Heyman.
about this. I've been thinking about this so much because I had no idea.
She's going to pull a Paul
Sasha
Heyman.
makes sense because Sasha has no first. She has one first, and that's being one of the first, and she has to share it with someone.
She's the first Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I guess that's true. But she didn't win it.
So?
She has not won anything significant.
Yeah,
but she's
right.
been in stuff. She was in the first Women's Royal Rumble. She was in the first Hell in a Cell. She was in the first Elimination Chamber. She was in the first
Women's Iron Man match.
Never won any of them. This is her time
All right.
to win something big.
I think
She cashes in.
If we're
She goes full blown heel by cashing in on Ronda. Feuds with Ronda at Elimination Chamber. She'll win in like some weird way, but it's definitive weird way.
All right.
Where Ronda could get written out of that.
Here's my counter argument even further. It's Ronda fucking Rousey.
Okay.
And if they're putting that title on her,
Okay.
she is holding that title.
Let me think about this. Let me go back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not going to say she's going to cash in the next night.
All right.
But she is going to cash. Sasha will win. She's going to cash in at Extreme Rules. Ronda's going to rematch with Nia at Extreme Rules. Sasha's going to cash in there. That way it sets up Sasha versus Ronda as SummerSlam. That's a big marquee match.
Fair enough.
Big marquee match. Kind of also sets up 4 Horsemen versus 4 Horsewomen. Then you could bring Bayley into it. Mm-hmm. And then maybe let go. Because they need to end the Bayley Sasha thing. Fix what it is or just get rid of it.
Agreed.
And that's why I said they might do that. But it makes sense. The reason why I wanted to be Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam because it's full circle.
Yeah.
They had their best match at Brooklyn, and this is going to be in Brooklyn.
No, it's going to be in California, I thought.
SummerSlam?
Yeah.
No, it's in New York.
Oh, okay.
That's why Joey Janela lost in New York.
Yeah,
It's happening
yeah,
in New York
you're
because
right,
it's SummerSlam weekend.
I am wrong.
But it would make sense because it's.
I mean, I see
But
what you're...
I don't think they're going to. Now that I say it out loud, I don't think that's going to be it. But I do think Sasha's going to win.
I'm convinced Bayley's turning on Sasha tonight.
Sasha's going to. Well, they've already turned on each other like 50
I mean, like
times.
turning, where she
I think Sasha wins and cashes in at Extreme Rules.
And then
'Cause
we
she's a
have...
heel.
So Becky for me, Sasha for you.
Yep.
Look, 4 horsewomen.
I mean, if I picked who I wanted, I would say the best story is probably Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
But I don't think they think like we're thinking. Because we feel like Becky's been kind of pushed down. I think that's the story they're trying to tell with her.
That's stupid.
Is that she's getting pushed down so that she can overcome.
Actually, I know, but she's actually being pushed down.
'Cause, like,
it's like
who's
that
the
not
women's
using
champion from
Rusev for the storyline of not using Rusev.
Well, because you got to give. So what I think is going to happen with SmackDown is that Asuka's going to, after this feud with Asuka and Carmella, Asuka's going to start tearing. And then, because we haven't had Asuka versus Becky yet. Mm-hmm. That could easily be like a Survivor Series match or something. Yeah. You know, like that could be a great match. And that'd be where Becky maybe wins. Because if Asuka's gonna lose the title, Becky seems like a right person. Or you could do Becky versus Asuka at WrestleMania. Yeah. That's a good match. I'd love to see it.
As much as
if you build up a year of Becky being like, I can't get it done, can't get it done, and it finally gets it done against somebody who's so good like Asuka, it could do more than winning a Money in the Bank.
Well,
But that's if they do that.
I see what you're saying.
I think they're going to try to throw people and have both Raw win Money in the Bank. Because I think SmackDown's going to be more about competition.
I agree with the men's. I don't agree with the women's.
Okay.
So then, speaking of which, we got the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Braun Strowman taking on Finn Balor. Balor.
A Finn Balor.
Balor.
The demon.
The Miz, Rusev, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, and a member of the New Day who we still have not heard been announced yet, as far as I know, taking on Samoa Joe
Nice.
For
Nice
that-
save.
for that Money in the Bank ladder match. Who's going to win and why?
You go first.
Well, I have two answers.
That's not fair. You have to pick one.
Okay, Kevin Owens.
Fuck you. That was my pick.
Well, it
Fuck
could be
you.
your pick too.
Yeah, I know. That was my
why?
pick.
Because Kevin Owens has been booked like a cowardly
Yeah.
heel. He has been the butt of every joke in Money in the Bank, and he, at the same time, has been doing stellar work the entire time.
He's going
doing
to cash in on Roman at SummerSlam.
He's going to cash it in on
After
Roman.
Brock loses to Roman, that everybody's going to boo, he's going to come out and cash in on Roman, sets up a feud, leaves the fans happy, and Roman's not champion.
Yeah, and then Roman Reigns beats Kevin Owens,
And then he could still say, I beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Punk ass bitch, big dog, you know?
big dog.
So, but then he can feud with Kevin, who has the title now,
Mm-hmm.
and then he can start talking about. And then it's also kind of cool because Kevin has never won the world title in a definitive way,
Yeah,
and it could kind of be like a subtle kind of undertone with his reign is that
Mm-hmm.
Roman's be like, well, yeah, you never earned that title, you never beat anybody for that
but
title.
he'll just shut it down by
Every
going,
time it was handed to you, conspiracy.
But yeah, Kevin Owens is winning that
Yeah,
Money in the
I
Bank.
think he is,
I
too.
used to think it was Samoa Joe.
That was my other
doing
one.
the math, going to the whiteboard. It's Kevin Owens.
I think Kevin Owens is good.
Unless they just go, no, it's Braun Strowman.
And I
fuck
think
you.
that's also why they split up Sammy and Kevin. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're still friends in kayfabe, but like
Honestly, this might lead to a face turn.
I'd love that. I
Kevin
would love
Owens-
that. Kevin needs to be a face. He's been heel for way too long, and
And-
he can do it. And he's fine, but like I think he could get really, really over as a face.
All right, so one more time, let's just go through it, and then
Cool.
let's look to see who won our prediction for Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Bludgeon Brothers, and then we got to wrap it up.
I said Bludgeon Brothers would win that.
And I said Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah. I think that's just because they haven't done anything.
Yeah, they don't. So
Plus, it's pre-show. You don't really
So,
have title changes on pre-show.
D-Bry, you say Zayn. I don't want it, so I'm not going to say Zayn. I say Lashley.
Okay.
We both say Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Asuka. No, actually, you convinced me. Carmella.
Oh, you changed your opinion?
Changing it.
Okay. Carmella wins.
But Carmella keeps title.
Yes. Asuka wins. Carmella keeps the title.
I think we're both saying Ronda Rousey.
I said Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey. Seth Rollins,
Okay.
Shinsuke.
Yeah.
You say Sasha. I say Becky. And we both say Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So really,
It's all down to if,
it's down to Becky and Sasha.
yeah,
And Lashley, Zayn.
Zayn. Yeah. So that's two matches.
But honestly, like I don't even care about that one. You know who loses? The fans.
the fans. Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
Alrighty.
I think that's a good episode.
Good job. Good job, everybody.
Good job, us.
Good job.
Good job, us. Wrestling.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sit Down and Pile Drive. We will not be here next week. I am going to be in Vegas.
Okay.
But we will be
I'll
here.
be going out of town also in 2 weeks.
All right.
So
We'll be back.
we'll be back.
We'll be back to talk
We'll be
about
back.
wrestling.
All right.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your night.
Take care. Connor's out.
Stay up for Screen Source.